alarming discrepancy of more than $500,000 missing dollars, which accumulated over a 5-year period. The board will be horrified to learn of such a huge number. But then the members, all of them wealthy men and women of the community, will pretend to be shocked, even if they've known of the crime for days. Just last week, she as principal made the executive decision to publicly accuse the lunchroom lady of extorting the $500,000. In turn, the lunchroom lady was fired on the spot, but not arrested. The accusation not only took everyone by surprise, it reduced some of the school's students and faculty to tears. The principal plans to explain to the school board that while the lunchroom lady has yet to be arrested for stealing the school's precious funds, an arrest appears imminent. Presently, however, not enough direct evidence has been gathered, despite the enormous amount of circumstantial evidence that surrounds the case. The Albany Police Department has agreed to assign a special investigator to look into the matter further. When one of the pricklier board members will undoubtedly ask the obvious question, how she could have allowed this crime to happen right under her nose, she will simply tell him the truth. No one in their right mind would suspect that sweet old Mrs. Carter could ever be capable of pulling off such a crime. Because, after all, Gladys Carter is a beloved pillar of the grade school. During her 5-year tenure as the lunchroom lady, she's become the darling of the school's many students as well as staff. Never without a smile or a kind word, or even a, "No problem if you forgot your money, honey. You can pay whenever you have it." Mrs. Carter not only brightens up the entire school's day, she brightens their lives. Still, the facts remain. $500,000 is missing from the school's cafeteria account, and the buck stops with Mrs. Gladys Carter. Full stop. Doesn't matter how nice and kind a human being she appears to be, she'll have to pay for her transgressions. Paid to the tune of 15 to life in a maximum security prison. Her report completed, the principal presses the print icon on her laptop. Standing, she goes to a printer set on a table by her open office door. Outside her brightly lit office, the corridor is dark and cold. She wonders if the ghosts of the dead departed students roam the century-old school's halls and classrooms at night. Children who grew into adults, got old, and died. Or children who never made it out of their teenage years. Suicides, murders, war casualties, victims of terminal diseases, victims of tragic accidents such as car wrecks, house fires, electrocutions. There were so many ways to suddenly die, it boggled the mind. While the printed pages slid into the black plastic receiving tray, she whispers, "Stop letting your imagination get the best of you. Just print a report, go home, and pop a cork. You deserve it after a day like today." Grabbing the full 20-page report, she hears a click echoing out in the hall. Not a loud click, but a click nonetheless. A click that reverberates inside the cavern-like corridors. Like metal slapped against metal. She feels the start in her heart. Her stomach goes tight, and her brain fills with adrenaline. "Hello?" she calls out. "Is anyone there?" Another click. Louder this time. It steals her breath. She stands there, stone stiff, afraid to move. "Hello?" the principal barks. "Is anyone out there?" she repeats. A third click, even louder than the first two. Then the lights go out, and the world around her goes black. The report falls from her hand. The pages scatter onto the marble floor. "Who the hell is there?" the principal shouts once more. The shadow figure wraps its arm around her neck, plunges the knife deep into her stomach, 2 times, maybe. She doesn't feel the stabs, but she feels the singe that follows. It's a hot, searing burn that engulfs her torso. Stunned, she takes a step or 2 back while blood pours from her fresh wounds. Then the knife is plunged deep into her neck. Not once, but 3 separate times. She tries to scream, but her voice box and esophagus have been severed. Aware of the warm blood spurting out of her like a broken garden hose, she feels the blood filling her mouth and lungs. Dropping to her knees, she grabs at her neck as if it's possible to plug the holes, but she knows stopping the bleeding is futile. Falling onto her face, atop the crimson-stained pages of her report, all fear leaves her rapidly dying body. "Who are you?" she silently whispers. "Why did you kill me?"